Howdy folks, Bluesboyjag here, yet another 4-string cigar box guitar lesson by request. It's AC/DC, and if you want blood, you got it. Alright, we are tuned to open G on this one. G, D, another G, and a B. G, D, G, and B. So the 4-string works great on this particular song because you've got that second string in there to do the or, which is a Keith Richards kind of lick. So we're going to start out here on the 2nd fret, barring all the way across, which would be an A chord. First finger all the way across, using my thumb on the back. Now, there's your Keith Richards chord. That is an A suspended, I believe. So what I'm doing here is, in addition to that bar, which is the 1st chord, this is the 2nd chord, you're going to add that 2nd finger on the 1st string 3rd fret, and you're going to be adding your 3rd finger on the 3rd string 3rd fret. So here's the riff. We're going to go up here to the 7th fret, and we're going to sort of do a backwards or maybe upside down version of the lick that we played down here. And I'll tell you what I'm talking about there. Let's go back to the 2nd fret. Remember to put your clicks in here. That's a click. So I'm going to stay down here just for a minute. So the 1st chord is barring all the way across, and the 2nd chord is 2nd finger, 1st string, 2nd fret. I'm sorry, 3rd fret. And then your 3rd finger is going to be on the 3rd string, 4th fret. Not using my pinky at all, just my 1st finger to bar, my 2nd finger, and my 3rd finger to fret. Now here's something that's real important that a lot of people don't think about. You need to do some up strums on this one. Notice how I'm doing a click. I'm coming back on the up instead of the down. So that's an A chord right there. And this is sort of a D chord or A suspended. So you got to put that click in there. Right there. Now we're going to go all the way up to the 7th fret, which is very, very similar. Now, watch which one is going up and what strum is going down. Make sure you follow that pattern to get the exact same sound. If you do a down strum, it's the same chord, But I'm getting real picky here. But when you do a downstroke, you're really emphasizing the bass string. And you really want to emphasize those upper strings. And some of you are saying, that's really picky, Jag. Yep, I'm sort of that way. All right, back to the top. So I'm going to slow this down just a bit. Notice how I'm doing a click, and then immediately after I'm playing that second chord. And that chord is on the up strum. So your hand is just doing down, up, down, up. So I'm going to slow that down and do it again. Same exact riff. How am I choking? Some of you have been asking, how am I choking on these bar chords? Basically, you're just lifting the strings off. You're just loosening your grip. So when I go like that, not only am I muting with the second, third, and fourth fingers, I'm also not pressing down with the first finger when I kill it. So when that chord stops, I'm simply lifting my fingers off the fretboard. Now, here's something that I recommend you do. You can hear it on the record, right here. You hear all those clickas? I call it a clicka. Clicka, clicka, clicka. Make sure you get all those clickas in there. Jag, you're weird. Yeah, never said I would. Okay, so we're almost done, believe it or not. That's the first riff. Now the second riff is the chorus. It's sort of backwards, halfway backwards maybe, from the main riff, and that's it, you're done. That's the whole song. 2 riffs. So here's the chorus. Now I'm doing a lot of air strums there, so you can see that I'm not actually hitting the strings. You can hit the strings if you want to. I kind of like to put those air strums in there. You can also do 2 down strums on this. And you can also put more strums on this one. In other words, you can go like this. Whoops, sorry. That's a little bit more busy than their version, but it's hardly noticeable. So if you want to do that, if it's more convenient for you, if it feels better and you can stay on beat, go ahead and do that. Believe it or not, we're done. That's the whole song. Just 2 riffs. You have the one riff for the verse, or the main riff, I guess you'd say. Notice how I'm coming back on the up. How do I know that's the up, Jag? Well, I can tell because if you play a downstroke, you're going to hear the bass string. Whoops, I dropped my pick. That's rather embarrassing. But when you do a downstroke on this chord, you can hear that big string, the 4th string, a little bit louder than the others. Some of you are saying, no, you can't. That's crazy. You're just making up stuff. Actually, you can. The more you play and the more you learn the songs, you can tell. Trust me. Anyway, it's not that big a deal, really. You can do your ups and your downs pretty much however you want. If you want to be picky and you want to sound exactly like the record, then you do it the way I'm showing you. But it's not that big a deal, really. Most people can't tell a difference. And hell, half the time I'll hit a chord like that and I'll hit a down instead of an up. And, you know, you're still there on the beat, so it's not really that big a deal. If you are a stickler and you want to know exactly what they're doing, then this is it. Notice that click. And those 2 clicks before I start over. Now, how how do I know he's doing an up rather than a down? Like I said earlier, I'm not 100% certain, but I'm pretty sure because I played a whole bunch of songs from Keith Richards, and this is the classic Keith Richards suspended chord. So I know that that's the chord he's doing. And again, it's not super important whether or not you do the down when he's doing a down or an up when he's doing an up. It doesn't change a whole lot. You can tell, if you really get picky about it, that a down strum is going to have the bass notes first, and the up strum is going to have the small strings first. But does it really sound much different? Not really. It doesn't really come down to the sound as far as the preference of an up or down. It really comes down to how easy it is to play the riff, whether or not you choose to do a down or an up. So no big deal. Make it up however you want to go as far as your ups and downs. I think you'll probably see whatever works best for you, and you'll stick with that. You hear all those clicks? Now, one more thing. When you're playing along with the song, that's great because you can hear it. Make sure you crank up your speakers so you can play along with it. But if you're practicing without the song, make sure you tap your foot. Actually, make sure you tap your foot every time you play it. But for sure, when you're playing without playing along with the song. If you're playing it by yourself, keep that foot steady. Most people will speed up, myself including. Sometimes I'll hit the beat just a little bit too fast, and then a couple of beats later I'll hit it a little bit too fast, and pretty soon I'm 5% faster. You know, 3, 4, 5%, no big deal. So right there, I'm tapping my foot. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep your foot tapping when you're holding that chord, and keep your hand strumming. I highly recommend that. Most people will speed up, myself included, if you have only your hand going or only your foot going. If you have both of them going, most of the time you're not going to speed up. See, I'm pretty picky about that kind of stuff. That's a great song. Hope you all enjoy it. Be sure and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Again, I really appreciate all those requests for riffs and song requests. Some people like to hear just the riff. They want just a riff lesson, and some people want the whole thing with the solo and everything else, and that's totally fine too. But I really appreciate all these requests for riffs and intros, and some people like to hear the full song. Just let them fly. Anything that you want, I'll do the best I can to learn them. A bunch of these songs I've learned back in the old days, and it really is fun to revisit them on the 4-string or 3-string. All right, we'll see y'all next time.